People should not be afraid. We came to the earth to graze. In the early morning, cut down the pew, she needs your love. Forget your mother and your father. They aren't important, son. We came to the earth to graze. And everyone's figured in. Now there's no time to leave. Leave, yeah. Hey, Kenosha. We came to the earth to graze. And everyone's figured in. Now there's no time to leave. Leave. I can't remember the next thing I was going to sing. Anyway, welcome to another episode of the Apocalypse. I am your guide, Nicholas, also known as Death. Real reform, you say? Alex, did you have to have your shirt off when you said that? And for one to be even remotely considered like Alex Jones, one would have to be obese, have a very gravelly voice, have at least a 1 billion defamation judgment ruled against them. And also, you would have to, it is of urgent importance that you sell snake oil. And Mr. Vance, in regards to your comments about an oligarchy, well, Mr. Vance, you'll always be a couch fucker to me. Anyway, let's get to it, man. Real reform, Alex Jones says, as our entire country is being dismantled by a South African oligarch that I and many others tried to warn you rubes about. Remember, before the election, I did videos about Leon Scum and Mr. Netanyahu having a little conference together, a little town hall. And Mr. Netanyahu said, I'm going to throw a hypothetical at you. If you were president, well, you can't be president because you're not, you weren't born in America. And then Leon said, he interjected, well, not officially. So that gave the whole game away for you rubes that don't know that. And people tried to tell you that. The richest man in the world wants to dismantle and loot your country. You heard that, and you heard no wisdom in it. When you cry in later, about a year from now, maybe not even that far, remember all the warnings you were given. Remember, you thought you were the wise one. I love how so many of you wise individuals over the years have tried to come to me, of all people, and convince me, the adjudicated rapist, defamer, fraud, convicted felon, Guy who's in video with Epstein, been on the plane at least 7 times, got 97 pictures with Epstein and Diddy. You people trying to come tell me, they trying to tell us the Orange Messiah is the good guy. I don't think so. Did you hear the list I just gave you? And that's just the light list. I haven't even gotten to traitor, tried to overthrow the government, sat there and watched it and ate chicken wings with his family as cops were getting beat down. None of you people give a damn about that. You would have been happy to see him installed as a dictator. That tells me you believe in nothing. And you're willing to work with the devil, with the Antichrist. Literally. To get to your ends that you want to get to, just so the Buffalo Bills can win, just so you can feel like you're winning that fake-ass culture war. My God, you're such fucking rubes. And rubes, let me just tell you this. You're never going to convince me an adjudicated rapist, fraud, defamer, traitor, guy who sold classified documents to Vlad, I guarantee, or just gave them to him. You're never going to convince me that's a good guy. The sad thing is, you're so messed up here that you're willing to go out and talk that thing up. So all that's left to assume for me regarding you is you're just like him. You've had 3 opportunities to turn the other way. That's what God gave you. He showed you everything, but you know better. We'll see about that in the end. Anyway, let's begin. The Pentagon has informed its resident press corps that NBC, New York Times, NPR, and Politico will rotate out of the building to give space to New York Post, that's a Murdoch rag as good as the Enquirer, Breitbart, straight up right-wing grift machine paper, OANN, oh my God, they got sued for defamation and all kinds of shit too, for telling lies. And the Huffington Post, I don't know why the Huffington Post is in there. I guess they wanted to throw one liberal paper in there to make it almost look legitimate. What a fucking joke this is. Yeah, this is great progress, Rubes. We've got a Murdoch rag, the guy who convinced you, Rubes, to ruin your own country over the past, I don't know, 30, 40 years. And boy, did you eat it up, and you still eating it up. Even after you see Sieg Heils and shit, you still defending it. Oof, I wouldn't want to be you, standing in front of the Father that you allege to believe in, trying to defend this stuff. It's all fun and games when you're trying to convince Nikki of it. It ain't going to be fun and games when you're standing in front of Daddy. He ain't going to be laughing. It ain't just a comment section. It ain't just a bitch-ass country you gonna be throwing under the bus as if it were nothing. You're gonna realize the importance of it then. But by then, sorry, it'll be way too late. Anyway, so yeah, we're gonna lose NBC, NYT, and NPR, and Politico for New York Post, Breitbart, OANN, which is, if you think Fox is right-wing grift and anger, check out OANN. You're really going to love that. And the Huffington Post, I don't even get why that's there. Maybe, what's her name that owns it? I don't really like her much, but whatever. Maybe the woman that owns it threw Donnie a check or something. Who knows? Who knows? But yeah, that's great progress. We're going to papers that are as good as the National Enquirer, except for the Huffington Post. You can get a decent story out of them once in a while. Let's go to the next thing. Elon Musk's friends have infiltrated the GSA, and they're looking for ways to use White House credentials to access agency tech, potentially allowing them to remote into laptops, read emails, and more, sources say. That's all good stuff, right, Rubes? You know what? I'm not even going to explain that to you. I'll just say I believe the GSA has something to do with government property, buildings and stuff. I mean, Leon's covering all the bases. They are going to loot every motherfucking penny. Elon Musk plans to take over GSA next with disturbing plan of action. And did you hear all that? He's, finding ways to hack into things and dig into things he shouldn't be in. That's why, the head of the Treasury would just resign, because he knows what it is. And he didn't want to give Leon access to the Treasury, to the $6 trillion. Because he knows Leon's just there to grift and loot. A shame you Roops didn't know that. You didn't care, though. You just figured, we'll work with the Satanist, globalist, Baphomet apprentice, despite we allege to be Christians. Just as long as it gets our orange messiah in there. The guy who shits himself every day, leaves his house an orange face, tells about 97,000 lies and about 87 grifts a day. Adjudicated rapist, defamer, fraud, convicted felon, tried to overthrow the government, extorted Ukraine, grabs women by the you-know-what. Really Christian family value stuff. Hey, pays off porn stars he cheats on his wife with while he's in office and blames it on his lawyer. Lawyer goes to jail for it, but Donnie doesn't. You're all cool with all of it, right? Hey, it's your soul, man, not mine. This is beautiful. You're going to love this one. Because just Leon's everywhere. He owns you people now. Leon's scum staff has been caught installing hard drives inside the Office of Personnel Management, the Treasury Department, and the General Services Administration. His staff encountered resistance when demanding that Treasury officials grant access to systems managing the flow of more than $6 trillion annually to programs like Social Security and Medicare. Gee, I wonder why the South African oligarch, one of the greediest entities that's ever stained this planet, I wonder why he wants access to that $6 trillion. What do you think, Rubes? You think he wants to get some of that for you? I see all the Russian trolls and RNC trolls out there trying to say that all this saved money is going to go to the people. Yeah, right, son. The Rubes don't even believe that, but they will parrot it, though, won't they? Like good little Rubes. Anything that's got an R next to it, son. It could be a pile of steaming feces, and Donald pretty much is that. Just put an R next to it. You got their vote. You got the Christian vote. I love you, Jesus. I'm sorry I had to literally endorse the Antichrist and put my name on him 3 times. But I love you, Jesus. Oh, God, you wouldn't know Jesus if he slapped you in the face, son. Where are we at? Tensions escalated when Musk's aides were discovered at OPM, accessing systems including a vast database known as the Enterprise Human Resource Integration. This is the good part, Rubes. You're going to love it. Such as, lost my place, sorry, here we go, I'm back. Because this is really bad. It's really fucking bad. Which contains sensitive information such as, you ready, Rubes? Dates of birth, that would be your date of birth. Social security numbers, that'd be your social security number. Performance appraisals, home addresses, that'd be your address, Rube. Pay grades, and length of service for government employees. In response to employees speaking out, Musk's aides locked civil servants out of computer systems and offices with reports of personal items being searched. Wow, this don't sound dystopian at all. just dismantling everything our country was. Every single thing. A bloated, beluga whale-shaped, fucking socially awkward, Satan-worshipping oligarch. Daddy's boy. Born filthy rich. That's what you gave your country to. Remember how cute he looked in his crimson night outfit with the Baphomet crest? Remember that? He looked great, didn't he? Christians out there? That's what you gave your country to. And you don't have to believe me. You don't have to agree with me. It's already too late. The second Donnie won, the second you handed him those keys, it was over for you and me and everybody else. And it's gonna get ugly, son. So ugly. And you rubes are not ready for it. You still want to debate, a lot of you. You don't get where we is, huh? We way past debate time, son. You being looted while you dumbasses argue online. But let's debate Biden and Harris and who's better and who's not. Hey, it's a real easy choice for me. When I have to choose between an adjudicated rapist and defamer and fraud who tried to overthrow our government and steal the presidency and be dictator for life, or Kamala Harris, guess what I'm going with? Kamala Harris, son. And you ain't talking this man who really believes in Jesus. Not the Jesus you fake asses believe in. The real Jesus. The one that I'm going to have to stand in front of and give account to. I take that serious, son, so I'm not allowed to vote for an adjudicated rapist, fraud, defamer. You may be allowed by your God. But I have a feeling you're going to be real disappointed in your God when you meet him. So yeah, Musk has all kind of information on all of us, government employees, access to $6 trillion, dismantling every agency you can think of in real time. And they are in a real hurry, and that tells me something. They don't have a lot of time. That's what it tells me. Neither do you rubes. Before you have to make the most important decision in your life. And it ain't voting for your favorite football team. Here we go with the going out to conquer, whatever the damn phrase is. Conquering and to conquer. That's it. I'm a little tired. Forgive me. Trump orders U.S. bombing of ISIS targets in Somalia. And what I didn't know, because the second 2 years of Trump's presidency, I just kind of tuned out. And I figured he would just win again. And, you know, I'd have to deal with this scumbag for the next 6 years. But he didn't. So I kind of tuned out the last 2 years because I just figured it was over for this country and I'll just focus on other things. But what was going on in 2019 and 2018, I don't know if you know, but he was bombing Somalia all over. There was all kind of operations in Somalia. Mr. Man of Peace, who doesn't start any wars. There's something they really want to happen in Somalia. In 2018 and 19, that's Donnie's watch, if you didn't know, rubes. All over Somalia, drone strikes, bombings. What's up with that? Well, we know it's about a mountain range and a certain area of Somalia. Somalia has oil and all kinds of goodies. I read a little article where some people were even mining gold from those goalless mountains that got bombed today to support a local village. Hey, maybe a satellite saw a big vein of gold over there or something. Because anything Donnie and Hegseth are involved in is a grift. I'd bet my life on it. So it ain't about Somali terrorists, all 23 or 30 of them that were in the fucking mountain. It's about something else, son. It always is with Donnie shitbags. Every tariff, every idea, everything. It's all a grift. Every single thing. Every business is money laundering. There's always a grift with this mother. I've never seen a more crooked entity. That's why he's the perfect candidate for the Antichrist. There is no way the Trump's presidency's policies are economically sustainable for 4 years. Well, this is anonymous, and what anonymous, I get the point they're trying to make is they're not trying to make anything economically sustainable. They are looting this place, and they're going to crash everything, and then they're going to come in and save the day, and they're going to say to you, Rubes, here, just take everything you've lost. We're going to replace it with Bitcoin. But you just have to take this little thing, put it on your hand or in your hand. And you just have to, sign a pledge of loyalty. Or there'll be some disclaimer that by putting on your hand or whatever. But you'll know what you're doing. They're not allowed to trick you into it. I want everyone to know that. You don't have to sit there and worry about, oh, they're going to trick me into it. You've already made your decision by being the person you are your whole life. You've made your decision. Most of you. Some of you at the last minute will see something so horrific, maybe you'll walk the other way. I don't have faith many of you will do that, though. I really hope I'm wrong. For your sake, not mine. So most of us have already made the choice, I'm sure. And when it comes to that moment, no one's going to be able to hold your hand. No one's going to be able to make the choice for you. Every individual will have to make the choice. And it will be clear what the choice is. Because they are not allowed to trick you into it. Just like they weren't allowed to trick you into voting for Donnie Shitbags. God showed you all his crimes. God showed you the righteous man, Biden, for 4 years. That was intentional. And then he gave you one last chance. After you saw the righteous man and you saw the wicked man. Most of you failed that test. Obviously. What you are seeing is a clearly planned agenda to destroy the USA. All right, well, Anonymous does get it. My fault. I forgot what this said. As a country and as a world leader, yes, that's literally the agenda. Donnie works for Vlad right now. I have a feeling Donnie's going to turn on him. And he's going to turn on Leon. And he's going to turn on the Israelis. Because that's what Donnie does. That's what the beast does. But for right now, yes, the plan was, since Vlad owns Donnie, compromat, money, all kinds of stuff. Donnie agreed, yeah, I'll destroy America for you. I'll be your guy. And Leon, jumped on the grift. And now he's basically co-president of the United States, and he's dismantling every agency and strong-arming his way in and setting up weird computer setups and looking at your information, and he has access to every fucking penny of your tax money. Literally everything I said would happen. That's the danger. You about to get looted. You about to see what that's like, and you're about to see what a dictatorship is like. Because Donnie's going to get real tired of all this rules stuff. He seems real agitated lately, doesn't he? After Trump, no one will trust in the USA ever again. Well, that's the point. Alienate all our allies, so all that's left is Russia and China. And, once we're in that weak, vulnerable position, looted, no allies, guess what I think's going to happen? And we'll be ripe for it. And you rubes won't see it coming because you trust an orange con man. We will be so perfectly ripe for attack. Oh, this post I put up earlier, I want to tell everyone it's fake. I wasn't sure if it was real or not. That's why I put on the last sentence. In the post section, it's called Posts Now on this website. Literally the day after I said, hey, check out the community section, guys. But I've said that many times over the years. So it's probably just a coincidence that the next day it was changed to posts instead of community. So click on my icon. There'll be the options that come up on the main channel page of all the different things: live videos, regular videos, shorts, posts. Go all the way over to the right where it says posts. Click on that. You'll see all the posts I put up every day. Real important. Doing it for you, not for me. I already know what's going to happen. We're going to get looted. Probably end up in a war or 2 or 3. And Donnie's going to ruin us. And Leon's going to ruin us. And bring this country to its knees like it's never been. It's over. It's done. Sorry. Elon Musk's team granted access to Treasury Department payment system. That when the New York Times says it, you know, it's really over, right? And I love the picture they used. Look at everyone else in the room. And then look at Leon. Remember that? I believe that was that the ketamine ecstasy photo or video where he was like doing the neck rolls and in like satanic ecstasy and shit. Because that's the false prophet right there. You didn't know? You better ask somebody. Somebody that really studied scripture, not you rubes that just heard what your pastor said and you just parroted it. No, someone that really studied scripture and that doesn't have an agenda with it. Ain't many of us out there. So, let me go back to this again. Access to Treasury Department payment system. That's bloody fucking horrifying. Rubes, if you didn't know. Here's just a comment. So if I'm understanding today correctly, the world's richest person, Leon Scum, who no one elected, is taking over federal payment systems and employee data, while the federal employees who investigate and prosecute public corruption are being fired en masse. Yeah, that's exactly what's happening, Rubes. And you should be real worried about that. Because again, it's coming to all your doorsteps. Every single one. Here's one of the last commands Adolf Hitler gave. Adolf Hitler's proclamation to the people of Berlin on April 22nd, 1945. That's right when he was about to lose the war. It was over for Germany. But Adolf's still putting them orders out. Published in the first issue of the tabloid newspaper Der Panzerbar on April 23rd, 1945. Grave warning from the Führer. Mark well with an exclamation point. Anyone who proposes or even approves measures detrimental to our power of resistance is a traitor. That's with exclamation mark. He is to be shot or hanged immediately. That's again with an exclamation point. This applies even if such measures have allegedly been ordered on the instructions of Reich Minister Dr. Goebbels, the Galetier, I don't even know what that is, or even in the name of the Führer. So even if someone got orders and they didn't know, they thought those orders were from Goebbels or the Führer or some chain of command, and they acted on them and they were wrong, well, they would execute you anyway. And that's where it is going. That's where it is going right here. You want to look at it? I lost it. Hold on. Let me find it again. God, there's so much here. What the fuck? Yeah, the pace of this is ridiculous. That's what it looks like. In other words, while I hide in my bunker, you guys keep fighting till the last man, okay? That's what he's telling his people. And if you run, and if you do anything, like surrender or anything like that, you're going to be shot or hanged. That's a dictator in his last desperate gasp to hold on to power or to keep the illusion. Like Baghdad Bob. Many of you probably don't remember Baghdad Bob. You were probably watching like Honey Boo Boo at the time or something. Well, Baghdad Bob, as Iraq was literally like, in flames behind, he'd get on camera and he'd be like, the Iraqis are winning the war, the Americans are fleeing. As there's like, flames, oil wells, like fucking. That's you, Rubes. As your country's burning, as it's being looted, as the silverware is being fucking sold off. You still talking up Donnie shitbags. You still want to debate who's better, who's the righteous man, right? Oh, little children, you will learn soon what you've done. Marco Rubio is visiting Panama this weekend to try and annex the Panama Canal. Panama is currently bracing for an American invasion and is warning there could be mass casualties. The U.S. is acting like Russia when it invaded Ukraine and is making the world less safe in the process. Well, yeah, that's the point. Destabilization. They need to get this global Bitcoin beast thing going. That's not even the slightest exaggeration. They don't have that long. They got to get this shit going. And yes, again, the plan is to ruin this country. What did Leon do to Twitter? Ruined it, turned it into 4chan with 3 Democrats. Made something that was worth, I don't know, 30 billion. He made it worth 8. That's what he's going to do to your country. And I told you that a while ago. Literally. And Rubio's going to try and take the Panama Canal. I guess they're just going to try and pressure people into giving up their territory. I don't think it's going to work, though, but you never know. Here's Leon. Obviously, there will be extreme opposition from the grifters, and that extreme is in all caps. And head grifter, prince of grifters, is calling anyone else a grifter. That stock price that he has for Tesla, it should be $5 a share. I'm not even exaggerating. That shit is straight up motherfucking fraud. And he's talking about grifters? He about to loot this entire country, and he talking about grifters? When I think of grifters, just like I put in the post earlier, I think of 3 names: Bernie Madoff, Donnie Trump, and Leon Scum. Top 3 grifters in the history of man motherfucking kind. And they will make it sound like we're cutting funding to save baby pandas when we're actually cutting funding to fraudsters, wastrels, and terrorists. Wastrels, you say? Beluga boy. Wow. And you know what? If the money was going to save baby pandas, that might be a worthy cause. Instead of going in some greedy, fat, greasy oligarch's fucking pocket. And another orange guy's pocket, as long as there ain't shit that leaked out of his diaper in his pocket. What a fucking joke this is. I mean, just flat out inversion of reality again. And these people do this. Leon does this every day. Donnie does this every day. You people do this every day. Wow. He's making, some jab at liberals would use it to save some pandas. You know what? That's a good thing. An oligarch worth 300 billion with an office, 20 feet away from Donnie in the White House, looting our country, that's not a good thing. But it's too late to stop it. And anyone that tries to stop it at this point will fail. Any effort to stop this will fail. It is written. It will be done. It's already initiated. It's too late to stop it. This is only possible because of President Trump. Oh, you mean the looting of our country? The selling us out to Russia and China and the Saudis? The threatening our neighbors and allies? Allowing a bloated beluga-shaped oligarch, pasty-ass bitch, to access all our personal information and $6 trillion of our money? I am cautiously optimistic that we will reach the 4 billion a day fiscal year 2026 reduction this weekend. What are we reducing? We're not reducing anything. They're going to steal all the money. None of that money's going to any of you people. Why do you think they want to cut all these agencies and people? Does it sound like the plan is to run this country for 4 years? No, it's to dismantle it and loot it. Look logically at what's going on. Leave the brainwashing, in the backyard. And think logically for a moment. Or defend the Antichrist to your dying breath. Whichever you want to do. Your soul again. Trump doesn't give a F what happens to this country. He cut a deal. Putin and Leon got him into office and he avoided prison. Trump golfs. Leon and Putin destroy us, kill off many of us, and rob us blind. That was the deal. Yes, that was the deal. But the thing is, Leon and Putin and all these people, they don't understand they're dealing with the beast. And he's going to turn on all of them. But in the process, a lot of us are going to die. We're going to get looted. And I really wonder if Donnie and Leon are just going to invite some foreign force in to take us over. Or assist in policing us. Wouldn't surprise me in the least. The Trump admin has fired Rohit Chopra, the director of the Consumer Financial Protection Bureau. How do you feel about that, Rubes? You don't even know what that is. Never mind. Aides to Elon Musk charged with running the government's human resources agency have locked career civil servants out of computer systems that contain the personal data of millions of federal employees. This is a quote, we have no visibility into what they are doing with the computer and data systems. That's real bad, Rubes, if you didn't know that. Real fucking bad. Okay, this is basically Canada's response to Donnie's tariffs. And Donnie, those tariffs aren't for you. They're for Donnie. Again, it's just another grift fund for them to all put their hands in. Leon's got access to it. I knew he would. So does Donnie. Where do you think them tariffs are going? They're not being put into the country. That's not what this is about. That's why they're dismantling every agency. That's why they want everyone to quit. If you don't get the message on what's about to happen, then you just blind. They're not setting a system up to run this country. They're setting up to end this country. So this is just some of the things directed right at the rubes that Canada's going to do. Directing the BC Liquor Distribution Branch to immediately stop buying American liquor from red states and remove the top-selling red state brands from the shelves of public liquor stores. Well done, Rubes. This cost yourself millions of dollars. And directing the BC government and Crown corporations to buy Canadian goods and services first. Allies for fucking centuries. Donnie comes in, they hate our guts. That's the Donnie effect. That's the Donnie shitbags effect. All of our allies despise us. Russia and China go like this, just waiting till Donnie has it all destroyed and all the rubes are crying. And you gave it to him. Pat yourself on the back. Gave an ex-KGB agent your country, and he didn't have to fire one fucking shot. As you fucking morons talked about taking on our government for fucking 3 decades with your bitch-ass AR-15s, as if it would make a difference when a drone comes through your fucking punk-ass neighborhood and blows it all to fucking hell with one bomb. As you're shooting your AR into the air. Like Crazy Joe said. You can't take on the federal government with an AR-15. You need an F-15. You hear me? So as you rubes, Alex Jones did up, as he sold you snake oil and took Russian money and spouted Russian propaganda. And you all got yourselves all riled up to take on the federal government who gives you your fucking welfare checks. You were voting over and over again to give your country to Vlad Putin. He outsmarted all of you fucking idiots. And he owns you now. And he didn't have to fire one shot. All you fucking idiot rubes out there, hugging your guns. What good did they fucking do you? Other than get your kids killed at fucking school. Not a goddamn thing. And you still lost your country. Count how many AR-15s you have in your house. And then look in the mirror and realize what a fucking idiot you are. Honda and Toyota have made statements about the potential for quick assembly line shutdowns if tariffs were enacted. Well, guess what? They're probably going to be enacted because Donnie Grifton here. What right do we have to stop him from doing that? The rubes want him to do it. They love being con. They line up for it. They beg for it. They beg for more. After Kolfage and Bannon steal their money, they beg for more. Honda has manufacturing facilities in Ohio, Indiana, Alabama, and Georgia. Uh-oh, rubes. Might come to your doorstep at the car plant, the few that are left. Uh-oh. Guess it wasn't just a team sport. Guess I should have taken it seriously. Guess I shouldn't have looked at it as, gotta own the libs. Buffalo Bills gotta win. Even if the Antichrist is quarterback and the false prophet has an office down the hall. Just as long as those commie Marxist-ass liberals don't win. That's rubery. That's you. Toyota has production facilities in Kentucky, Alabama, and Mississippi. Uh-oh. What the rubes in the car factory gonna do? Well, that's their fucking problem, isn't it? That's what they would say about me or you. They voted for it, right? Of course they did. Well, you get what you vote for. This was amazing. This is a piece of video I posted for you guys. Got it off Twitter, of course. And it is a video, and I put the link in the post section, not the community section, the post section. And you'll see the dude run up to the truck, and he spray paints it in, like, I don't know, 2 seconds. And gets out of there and takes, you know, the whole footage of the whole thing. It was hilarious. I loved it. And I'm noticing more and more of this happening. Hey, maybe it was the Sieg Heil that turned people off. It didn't turn the rubes off, though. They just disregarded that shit. Oh, and Donnie lying about sending the military into California. Oh, and Gavin Newsom talking to him on the tarmac like he was a $2 bitch. They just disregarded all that. That wasn't a Sieg Heil. Cracker, please. Lie to your children. Don't lie to me. Hey, are you folks in the northern tier of the US? Enjoy your vastly higher energy bills, because I absolutely promise you your local utilities will pass along their higher costs now that Trump has put a tariff on cheap Canadian hydro. Uh-oh. Gonna come to your doorstep that way too. Don't worry, there's a lot more knocks on your door you're gonna get. Special just for you. That made all this happen. Loud booing at the end of the Star-Spangled Banner. This was in Ottawa and another location in Canada today during hockey games. Star-Spangled Banner was played. The entire crowd goes boo. In Canada, one of the nicest countries on earth, where the people are like just, so nice. It's not like America at all. Totally different attitude over there. And this is the Donnie shitbags effect. We got one of our oldest and most trusted allies. The entire population hates our fucking guts now. Donnie shitbags effect, beast effect, antichrist effect. But hey, the Antichrist got an R next to his name. Tell the Lord that when you're standing in front of him. Lord, he had an R next to his name. Okay, son, can you just hop in that lake over there? Oh my God, what have the rubes done? Here's Alex looking all sexy next to some kind of pizza oven or in some type of basement during some satanic ritual or something. and Alex posted breaking with fire next to it. Elon Musk, Doge, have gained access to treasury payment systems. This is what real reform looks like. What a desperate, fat, lying, defamatory jerk off. And here's what it looks like. Look how exciting the post is. Look, it's like some kind of satanic ritual going on in the basement. Who knows what's going on down there. Alex is trying to make anything happen to get his money back, to get his business back, to get that whole snake oil thing going again. Look at him. Why's he got to have his shirt off, man? Nobody want to see that. Real reform, Alex says. The looting of your country, rubes. Alex calls that real reform. You know why? Because he's desperate as fuck. And anyone that's willing to throw him a life preserver, he'll take it. Even from the Antichrist. Even from the false prophet. Wow. I guess he ain't a real Christian either. I guess that was all bullshit. Just so he could sell snake oil to you rubes and fuck a lot of women. Behind his wife's back. And, chill by the... Or is this a sauna? Is that what I'm saying? What the fuck is this? What is wrong with you people? Alpha male, right? Right. Real reform, the looting of your country, the betrayal of your country, the betrayal of, of you. Because it's all a grift, people. That's all it ever was. But you didn't care about that. Had an R next to it, so. Now, this is an old story, but it makes a point. Because the right-wing grist / terror machine and Vlad have been trying to point at liberals, and they had all the rubes parroting it like good death parrots. Trying to tell the rubes for decades that it's only liberals that are pedophiles and they're all evil and Marxist and all that shit. Meanwhile, they vote for the Antichrist. And they're still debating the positive aspects of the Antichrist. It's so absurd. You have Jews voting for Nazis. You have Latin people voting for Nazis. You have low-income rubes voting for the richest man on earth. And Donnie shitbags has a gold toilet. It's so bloody absurd. But it takes objectivity to see that. It takes someone who doesn't play team sports with politics. And when he sees the Antichrist, he says, I got a choice between the Antichrist and Kamala Harris. I think I'll go with Kamala. Thank you. This is Tim Nolan. Oh, how about I show you the picture so we can really get a good sense? And look who Tim's standing next to. Turkey Neck himself. Mitch McConnell. He's also very responsible for where we're at right now, as he complains about it. I guess Mitch should have taken care of that when he had a chance to. But he didn't want to. Again, it had an R next to it, so Mitch got to defend it. Whatever, Mitch. This is Tim Nolan, who was Donald Trump's campaign chairman in Kentucky until he was charged with 28 felonies, including rape. Well, Donnie's got a charge, too. Human trafficking, witness tampering, prostitution, unlawful transaction with a minor, and sodomy. There were 22 victims, including 8 juveniles. He is now in jail where he belongs. Tim is one of the original founders of QAnon, a conspiracy cult that accuses Democrats of being pedophiles. That's where you at, Rubes. You support the pedophiles. You love them. You defend them because they have an R next to their name. This man was a friggin' menace. And he was chairman of Donald's campaign in Kentucky. Pretty important position, wouldn't you say? In pictures with Mitch McConnell. I thought it was only liberals that did these kind of things. I don't know. I'm seeing a lot more right-wingers and Christians doing these kind of things. And I actually, again, I look at it objectively. Unlike you. Trudeau announces that Canada will impose 25% tariffs on billions of dollars worth of American goods. Are you happy, Rubes? Tariff wars. Trade wars. Just like the first time. How many farmers lost their farms? How many farmers committed suicide? And you voted for it again. I bet 90% of you voted for it again. Those same farmers that were white knuckling it through Donnie's presidency. I bet they all voted for him again. Oh, this is Marsha Blackburn. You know, the one with the crazy hair all the time. Another one who I don't understand how they look in the mirror, see what they look like, and then leave the house like that. I don't get it. The same thing with Donnie Shitbags with all that orange gunk on his fucking face. I don't understand how he looks in the mirror. Okay, I look good. Let's go. But, sir, you're orange. No, I'm not. Okay, you're not, sir. Let's go. What do you mean I'm orange? Anyway, so Blackburn, she's really, she's doing great work in the Senate. She always has. Mexico and Canada are going to learn the hard way. If they refuse to work with us to secure our borders, there will be financial consequences. And someone responded, American consumers are going to learn how little you guys know about what you're doing. Right. America needs all these other places. We're too big. We're too built up. We too greedy. Canada don't need us. We need them. China don't need us. We need them. Mexico seems to be doing okay too. In other words, we need all these people. And the only reason the tariffs are happening, because that's Donnie's money. If you want to do business anywhere on the planet, Donnie wants you to pay him. Donnie thinks everyone's been treating America unfair, which means they've been treating him unfairly. So instead of collecting that money and using it for America, Donnie will collect that money and put it right in his pocket. That's what'll happen. All is well, peasants. Just checked the stock market on Monday. I meant to use this as a thumbnail. I just love this picture because it really just kind of encapsulates. We got the aging, dementia-ridden Caesar as Rome is burning and he's on the golf course. And that's where it's at. Oh, and while he's on the golf course, all his Secret Service and entourage will be staying at his hotel, so your tax money can go to him directly. But it's okay, right, Rubes? Because it has an R next to it. Just, again, every Rube that I've ever interacted with, anything that Donnie does, you have to ask yourself this question. If you want to really be objective, if you don't want to just be a biased automaton, ask yourself this question. You ready? What if Obama did it? What if Obama implemented 25% tariffs on all our allies? What would you say about him? I have a feeling the N-word would be flying around all over the place. But when Donnie does it, it's cool, right? Of course it is. That's gonna cost you, son. That attitude. It already has. But use the wise ones. I know. Nikki's the stupid one, and use the wise ones. A third-generation American-born 12-year-old relative of this gentleman was detained by ICE agents at their school near Jacksonville, Florida. The child was reported by a classmate as suspected undocumented immigrant. Resist. Again, look at this man's face. And I have to ask everyone the question again, why would any Latin person in their right mind vote for Donnie Shitbags when he's been promising roundups since 2015? Again, so many of you, he says these things and you pretend he just didn't say them. And you pretend this is normal politics. When one candidate is running on roundups, that's not normal politics. And again, you have Latin citizen of this country after Latin citizen getting fucking harassed, getting taken down to the gulag. And again, I know it doesn't bother any of you rubes right now because it's not you, but guess what? It's going to be you. It always ends up that way. There is no other way for it to go. Groups will be added to the list. They won't be satisfied with just persecuting the Latin people. Don't worry. This is a beast. He got everybody but white male, straight Republicans on there. But here's the real thing. Guess who the beast hates, guys? Real Christians, Jews. Those are the real targets he wants to get to. And eventually he will get there. And you people will probably clap for that too. I have faith in you. U.S. National Anthem booed in Calgary and in Ottawa. 2 different hockey games. Congrats, Rubes. That's some great work by Donnie Shitbags. Oh, here's JD, the couch fucker. Memo to the press. I thought he died or something. I mean, he's just like disappeared. Because it's, it's all Leon and Donnie. And it's never JD and Donnie. JD is, left sitting on the couch, so to speak. When a president is elected by the people and then does what he promised to do, that's democracy. When a president is thwarted by unelected bureaucrats, that's oligarchy. No, son. Rubes. JD, the couch fucker. Oligarchy is when the richest man on earth has an office 80 feet away from the president. And an oligarchy, for JD especially, is being Peter Thiel's bitch, like JD is. And I mean that literally. Because I think JD in the closet. I really do. I honestly believe that. I'm not just saying that because I don't like the guy. I think a lot of these dudes are in the closet. I think that's why they hate women so much. Just a theory of mine. President Trump refuses to bend the knee to that oligarchy. Buckle up. Well, China owns 25%, the Saudis own 25%, Leon owns 25%, and Putin owns 25%. And every oligarch came to hand Donnie $1 million, and Zuckerberg's given him 45 million more, and Bezos gave him 40 million more on top of it. So who's working with the oligarchy? Who warned us about an oligarchy just a month ago? Oh, that was Biden. Here's JD, again, inverting reality. And JD ain't that stupid. He knows exactly what's going on here. But what JD's hoping for is that Donnie croaks, or they 25th Amendment him or something like that. None of that's going to happen, JD. Sorry. Sorry, couch fucker. This the beast. He cannot die or be taken away until the appointed time. There were many assassination attempts on Hitler's life. They all failed. Why? Because Hitler had to die a certain way at the appointed time. So no assassination attempt would have worked. No monkey wrench would work. It's the same situation here. Any of that stuff is futile. This has to play out again. You were given 3 chances. You failed. Now this has to play out. I'm sorry. And it's going to be scary and horrible for a lot of people. Even the rubes. And there's nothing we can do about it. And again, you know, JD talking about an oligarchy. We've got the biggest oligarch in the entire world, who gave Donnie $227 million and has an office 80 feet away. And Peter Thiel owns this JD in the closet guy. Literally. That's where we at, rubes. Are you shocked by how quickly Trump is getting his way? Don't be. It only took Adolf Hitler 2 months to dismantle Germany's democracy. 2 months indeed. Hitler moved fast. Maybe he knew he didn't have that long. I don't know. Well, Donnie knows he don't have that long. So does his daddy. And so does his side piece, Leon. That's why the urgency. So that's why, again, I don't think we have like 7 years. I think we got much shorter by the urgency I'm seeing. And this is quite interesting. I didn't know it only took 2 months. I assumed it happened rather quick. Hitler's a blitzkrieg kind of guy, and so's Donnie. So look where we are inside of 2 weeks, or about 2 weeks. Imagine what it'll be like in a year at this pace. I'm afraid to know the answer to that. Where are we going to be exactly in a year? I know it's going to be bad. So yeah, it can happen quite rapidly. People think these things take decades. They don't. Once the scale is tipped, and it's tipped, they in now. And they're dismantling everything, just like all of us told you they would. And you might not care now, but don't worry. It's going to come to your doorstep. No rube is exempt this time. You failed. Oh, is that the end? Good. Yeah, I guess I want to make this clear. There's no need to debate anymore. There's a song that Dolores did, actually. No need to argue. There's no need to argue anymore. It's too late. There's no need to argue. No need to argue anymore. There's no need to argue anymore. I've done all I could, but you left me so sore. And the thing that makes me mad is the one thing that I had. I knew I'd lose you. You'll always be special to me, special to me, to me. I'm singing that to America. The country itself. 'Cause it's gone, and there's no need to argue anymore. There's no need to debate anymore. While all of you people are debating back and forth and arguing if it's good or bad, or who the good guys are, or who the bad guys are, your country is being looted. They don't plan on running this thing. They plan on subjugating this thing and looting it. That's where it's going. And they ain't hiding it. As the Rubes still want to debate anyone that critiques their orange messiah. It's just too late, people. That's why I'm here every night. Mainly to guide the few good people through it. Because I know people are going to be scared. I know people don't know what I know. And they don't have the same kind of demeanor I have. What do I mean by that? I don't fear this shit. It makes me sad that all of you and me and others are going to have to go through it. That's bad. That's kind of a weight on me every day that I don't like. But it's there. And I have to be honest. There's a reason I'm saying the things the way I say them. Because I can feel the wrath building. I can barely sleep. Because I can feel the wrath building. The wrath that's coming for you. Because you're going to take the mark, or you're going to, continue to put your name on this. The wrath coming for me, whatever, I get killed. Oh, well. But I don't have to worry about what comes after. You do. And one of the passages in the story, for the people that take the mark, that worship the beast, is they beg for death. That's how bad the wrath is. They beg for death, and death evades them. And if the days were not shortened, nothing would survive. Oof. That sounds real bad, man. And here's the thing, again. In 2015, I recognized all this. I thought I was onto something. I thought I was right. I saw very few people other than me saying it, except for Brother James Key, in any real way, someone with knowledge that's done real study and isn't just, out there for attention and bullshit and clicks. Real ballsy of him and me to be saying that back in 2015. And as the presidency progressed, I saw him go from an absolute warmonger to getting shamed. I watched all the scandals, the impeachments, the lies, the fake peace deal that Jared did, the attempt to overthrow the government, all that. Well, that's before we get to that. As he went through his presidency, I went back and forth. Maybe I'm wrong. Maybe I'm right. Let's see what happens with the election. Well, he lost. Okay, so then I said, okay, maybe I'm wrong here. But I wasn't sure yet. Then he tried to overthrow the government. And I was like, damn, that's literally what the person would do. The Antichrist, I said this in so many videos over the years that nobody watched. Because no one knew who I was. The Antichrist would never give up power voluntarily. Never. What did Donnie do when it came time to give up power? Because that's the way it works over here in America. If you lose the election, you leave. You don't try and overthrow the government. So I always knew this person, if he was who I thought he was, would never give up power. That's one of the ways I knew. I mean, I knew all throughout his presidency when they pointed to Obama and tried to say he was the Antichrist. I knew it was just because he was black. They took it even to this degree, people. I don't know if you remember back during Obama's presidency, they did a special on the Antichrist on History Channel. And guess what they did? They went out and found a man that looked almost exactly like Barack Obama. And they put him in the dark robe and everything as the Antichrist in the special. That's how racist them motherfuckers are. And that was the attitude out there. Oh, it's a black guy. He's got to be, and he's a liberal, so he's got to be the Antichrist, right? No, I never thought he was. He wasn't doing any of the things. He wasn't speaking blasphemies every day. He wasn't committing abominations every day. Donnie is every single day, multiple times a day. Now we have some weird co-president that we've never had before. Did you notice that, Rubes? Richest man in the world, exercising the authority of the actual president, or, if you will, exercising the authority of the first beast. And boy, is he exercising that authority. Have you ever seen this before? You haven't, have you? Neither have I. That's how I know what it is. Do I want it to be that? Does it make me feel good? Fuck no. I'd rather just go on with my, life and not have to think about this shit. That's impossible now, thanks to you rubes. So, when he tried to overthrow the government, that told me, okay, Nick, maybe he's still the guy. And I saw him again fade into a little bit of obscurity, lose a little bit of popularity. By the time the election came around, even with the dumb move the Democrats pulled with Kamala and Joe, throwing Joe under the bus, how dare they? He didn't deserve that. And he's the only guy to ever beat Donald Trump, by the way. No one else. even with that, it really appeared to everyone, including the Republican Party, Donald and his people, that they were going to get their ass kicked. I thought that as well. It just looked like he was done. The momentum was totally with Kamala. But momentum and the appearance of momentum are not votes. And Russian trolls are not votes. That's why Donnie lost last time. But Kamala has some things against her. She's a woman. She's black, or half black, or whatever. A lot of people don't like that. And a lot of people are still pissed about Barack Obama. And a lot of men, let's be honest, they don't like the idea of a woman being in charge. And that's just the way it is right now. Plus, people were frustrated. They watched Donnie slide on everything. This man tried to overthrow the government, stole 3,000 classified docs. And that's the short list of his crimes. And we all sat back and watched as Merrick Garland did jack shit on purpose. This was always the intention, to let him slide. They didn't want to set the precedent of putting an ex-president in jail. They did the same thing with Nixon. They gave him a pardon. Then all of a sudden the election comes. And just overnight he wins. It's just done, over with. Whoa, this was unexpected. Then I watch all the kings of the earth, all the oligarchs, all the executives, lay tribute at his feet as if he were Caesar. They lined up. They still lining up. They all scared as hell to lose their empire, their lives, everything. Does that seem normal to you? How they all lined up to give him $1 million. The Chinese government, we're possibly going to own 50% of TikTok. The Saudis are going to invest $600 billion. Netanyahu all of a sudden decides, yeah, I don't want to fight no more, even though it was the worst attack ever in Israel's history. None of this seems normal. All of a sudden you get in Time magazine. None of it makes logical sense. It's like all Donnie's dreams are coming true. But what really sealed it for me again, the assassination attempt. When I saw that footage, what I saw was scripture being fulfilled literally in front of my eyes. It shook me seeing his countenance that day. I had never seen him like that before. With the blood on his face and the fight and the fist pump. It was horrifying, if you know what you're looking at. And what I was looking at was the beast, who had the head wound and yet lived. What you're dealing with is a false trinity to counter the real trinity. So what will the false trinity do at every turn with their miracles? They'll be false miracles. Like, you know, when a bullet hits your ear and it's healed the next day, miraculously. That's what people said, right? It's miraculous. And what did I say when it happened? I said, it doesn't matter if the event was real or staged. What matters is what they're going to do with it. Well, what they did with it is, oh, well, look, they're trying to kill Donnie because of you evil liberals, even though it was a, hillbilly trailer park white guy who's an obvious Republican that tried to kill Donnie. Well, they started saying, well, let's have unity now. Let's have peace now. And look, they tried to kill him, and he miraculously survived. He had a head wound, and it miraculously healed. In other words, people, it doesn't have to be a real miracle. In fact, none of them will be real. That's the thing about the false trinity. Everything about them is false. When I saw that, I knew what I was looking at, and I couldn't fucking believe it. And that's when I was really convinced. What's more convincing me now is I'm starting to see people throw up Sieg Heils. I'm starting to see a straight up Nazi movement, which I can't believe in 2025 anyone takes the Nazi ideology seriously. How sad is your life? That you think goose stepping is cool, that you think Sieg Heils are cool, that you think Hitler was cool. We have just not progressed at all as a society, have we? And how long is this disgusting ideology going to keep going as a religion? This Nazi shit. None of it was good. It was all of Satan. That's all you're doing. You're doing nothing more than that. Why would you ever want to eliminate other people? Just because of the color of their skin, or they happen to be Jewish or whatever. What do you get out of that? Except the loss of your soul. Anyway, I'm pretty convinced this is the guy, and I'm pretty convinced Leon is the false you-know-what. So, again, I've never seen a situation like this where the richest man in the world who wears Baphomet costumes, who throws up Sieg Heils, has an office 80 feet from the president, and is just dismantling every agency. It's kind of strange. And I've never seen a civilian exercise the authority of the President of the United States the way Leon is. Leon might as well be president right now. None of it makes logical sense. And again, I was hoping I was just delusional and, reading too much into things. But I'm sorry. What we've witnessed this past 8 years is just over the fucking top crazy. And 40% of America digs it. Again, it makes no logical sense. There's something more going on. And it has nothing to do with politics. People keep calling this politics. No, it's not. It's just like in Hitler's day. That was not politics. That was a madman who was willing to do anything to get power. And he was not taken seriously enough as a threat. The same way Donnie was not taken seriously enough. They were hoping if they got him in court enough times, it would do something to his image. Well, you don't understand the rubes, guys. And again, if any of us out here stole 3,000 classified documents, they bury us under the fucking jail for all eternity. Donnie don't spend one day in prison for it. But we can throw Bob Menendez in jail, right? A senator from Jersey. We can go that high, but we can't go a little bit higher. To the ex-president, who literally tried to overthrow the government. Anyway, like I always say, I really want to be wrong about this. You people that want to debate me, you people that get mad at what I say, you don't get it, man. I don't want to be right. I've been saying this for a long time. And I keep waiting for that thing that says, you isn't right, man. And it never comes. The same thing in the Cornell stuff. I kept waiting for that thing that showed me I was just utterly wrong. That never came. The only thing that did come was thugs that tried to kill me, the FBI, a bunch of companies that felt it was cool to work with the mob. I mean, look at them working with the ultimate mobster now, just handing him money because they know who he is. He's the prince that their master sent, that they have to pay tribute to. That's simple. Why do you think these men have these positions and are worth $100 billion and $50 billion and all that? You got to have a special blessing for that kind of stuff. It don't just happen to you. I mean, there's a couple stories in scripture where a couple guys were so righteous that God elevated them up to a bit of riches and status. But those people are rare. Most of the people are the people that Jesus was warning about. You know, it's easier for a camel to go through the eye of a needle than a rich man to get into heaven. And again, that doesn't mean that all rich people are going to hell. That means that rich people tend to love that money too much. And God knows that. So he gave a warning. Don't love that money too much. Anyway, my point is, I really still want to be wrong. I've always wanted to be wrong. And if this 4 years goes by and he leaves and you people tell me I'm wrong, great. I'll be happy with that. I won't be mad about it. That's the outcome I'd like, but I know that's not going to happen. Look what happened last time. If you're thinking he's just going to leave peacefully, of course he's not. Look at last time he didn't. He tried to overthrow the government. Now the Rubes don't mind that. They're so weak-minded and weak of spirit. They don't mind having a dictator. Even if it's a $3 mobster from New York who inherited all his money from his daddy. As long as that dictator has an R next to their name, they're perfectly fine with a dictator. The Constitution is meaningless to them. The Bible is meaningless to them. God is meaningless to them. Their children's future is meaningless to them. All that matters is owning the libs. That's their existence. And as they're doing that, they believe they're serving God. As they literally vote for the Antichrist. They believe they're serving God. Again, inversion of reality. Inversion of reality. People that come to me attempting to convince me, the guy that does real research and has been following politics for 30 fucking years. They try and convince me that that evil is good and good is evil. There's a book that talks about that, where the world is in a time where most people are saying evil is good and good is evil. Here we are. Look how many illogical rubes there are out there trying to convince you or me that an adjudicated rapist, defamer, fraud, convicted felon, guy who tried to overthrow the government, traitor to his country, stole 3,000 documents, espionage and traitor to his country, on a tape with Epstein, on the flight 7 times, friend with Casablancas and all those people from the old modeling days. All Epstein's best damn friend. Kind of look like Diddy's best friend too, as many pictures of them two together. All of that is disregarded. That takes a lot of mental gymnastics. That takes some serious brainwashing. That takes a lot of rubes that make their whole identity owning the libs. What a sad existence that must be. Again, they say they're Christians, they go to church, they think they're doing good, they think they're doing right as they vote for the Antichrist. I can't believe this is my existence. And every day they come. And I just laugh. Wow, here's a man or a woman trying to convince me that the adjudicated defamer, fraud, rapist, guy who tried to overthrow the government, stole 3,000 dogs, he's the good guy and Biden's the bad guy. Biden ain't on tape with Epstein. Biden ain't got no pictures with Epstein. Donnie's got a bunch and footage and 8 different numbers for the Trumps in Epstein's contact book. So again, you think you're going around and doing the good thing because you heard the word Marxist, communist, socialist when you were a kid and you've just been parroting it ever since. You think you're doing a good thing. You think you're being a good Christian. You think you're being a good citizen. You think you're helping the world. You think you're doing good for your country. You think you're a patriot as you vote for the Antichrist. And you call the righteous man evil, and you call the evil man good. You're so lost. You're so backwards. And again, the time for debate is just so over because our country's over. And maybe when, the rubes realize that, they'll stop trying to debate. I don't know. Anyway, until the next episode of The Apocalypse, have a wonderful evening.